Good evening, everybody. This is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard First Time Flyers. I'm your pilot Viv, and I'm here with my co-pilot Joe. Today we'll be departing for Jackass. Fasten your seatbelts, secure your baggage, and prepare for takeoff.
We've heard that one riff so much in the past.
It's a good riff.
It is a good riff.
That's true, yeah, you're right though. We should establish, so we said this at the end of the last episode. We kind of went overboard. Not with this episode specifically. We didn't do this because of this episode.
We've definitely done more research than we've ever had for anything.
Usually it's like, I'll watch an episode for the first. We have to watch the pilot episode, and maybe if there's a different first episode, we'll watch that. Sometimes it's, I'll watch a couple, or this kind of links, so we'll watch this. Within the last week, we have seen all Jackass movies.
All 0.5.
All 0.5.
We didn't watch
Bad Grandpa.
We didn't watch Bad Grandpa, and we didn't watch... I know there's making of documentaries that aren't the 0.5 film, so we didn't see it. And there's the tapes film as well.
Lost Tapes, Tapes.
Which we haven't seen that.
No, so we haven't seen everything.
Honestly, we were
to
pushing
do with
it on the films. We watched it for like 12 hours.
We did, yeah. There are people, I posted about that on Reddit, and there were people like, why didn't you watch the other ones? And it's like, genuinely, we just did not have time.
Yeah.
Like, we would have had to start it. If we had started at 9 a.m., fair enough. No.
Nah, we started like midday, so it was like getting close to midnight.
Yeah, genuinely.
But it was great.
It was great. It was great fun. We called it Jackass-a-thon. Something we've done before. We did it when Final Destination came out.
Yeah.
Just anytime there's sort of a big event.
We're going to keep up more and more films.
I genuinely, if it wasn't so close, because I want to watch all the Superman movies and the original Supergirl before Supergirl comes out next week. Mm-hmm. And I genuinely was just thinking, damn, if we didn't literally just do Jackass-a-thon, I would do Superman-a-thon.
Yeah.
But I can't ask you all to come over again and we'll watch 5 movies with me.
Weirdly, all our friends like Jackass.
Yeah, it's surprisingly...
That's the thing that connects. Like, that's usually... Some of our friends are on board for whatever marathon we want to do, but this was like the biggest one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, helps that we have a very diverse friend group in terms of just boys and girls and taste.
Yeah,
and it's very nice as one of the guys.
One of the fellas
that our male friends who usually don't really join us for movie-based stuff.
Yeah,
and have quite different taste to us, really. Joe less so, but Sam especially doesn't really get invested in a lot of the movie stuff that we're interested in, which is completely fine. Taste is different.
This just sort of shows how broad the scope the show is able to reach.
Yeah, and I made it a gendered thing, but it's truly not. I mean, literally, like all our female friends were interested as well, so it just kind of... It's very expansive in its range of interest.
What's your history with Jackass?
I have no idea. I don't remember how I found out about Jackass. I don't remember what I first saw about Jackass.
It's just always been there.
It has. I think growing up, and I don't know if you'll say similar for you, growing up just as kind of the early YouTube generation, this is very much just the kind of thing you would stumble onto on the internet.
Yeah, this is a good clip farm show.
Yeah, genuinely. And then you have friends saying like, have you seen this? And then showing you like
the
a
most
guy
disgusting thing, covered in like vomit and shit
and just so I do remember going through a phase of like looking at prank videos on YouTube on fucking 360 camcorders and stuff. I used to love that stuff. Even just about prior to 2010. So I do imagine that's probably where I stumbled onto Jackass.
Are you soured on that now? Or prank content?
Honestly, it depends.
I don't think it doesn't get the best rap these days.
It doesn't. I feel like it depends. I love a harmless prank, which I know sounds like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
No, I love...
You're an oxymoron.
I love a stupid prank where like it's just kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite ones is like when it's a Portaloo and someone goes in and then they like build the office around it.
Oh yeah,
so it's like they come out and they're in the middle of a fucking meeting.
Yeah,
I love that because it's just stupid. Or like those stupid ones. I don't like pranks where it's frankly just abuse and harassment, which Jackass has a range.
There's a sprinkle of everything in here.
There is.
I think sometimes they do genuinely go really conceptual, and that is some of my favorite stuff.
Yeah, personally, me too.
But then again, some of the funniest shit is them just getting hit in the nuts. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
For me, it was with I believe it was the Tony Hawk games.
Oh yeah, of course.
Did you ever play those?
I didn't, but I've always been familiar with Tony Hawk.
Yeah. And obviously with the character selection, they had a wide variety of them. And it only struck me when I was watching them. I was like, oh yeah, of course. Just because I didn't watch Jackass then, so I was just like, who is this guy? Who's Wee Man? Because I had a Wee Man guy.
Oh, that's cool.
I think Bam was in it as well. They might have had the whole cast. I can't remember. Specifically, Tony Hawk's Underground 2, I think, it was the one I had. And then after that, I remember watching, I think it was one of the movies. I don't remember specifically which one. I think it was 2.
Yeah.
And I thought it was vile. I did not have the stomach for it that I did now. And I was just immediately turned off. I didn't find it that funny. So I was like kind of put off the show for a long time. I just thought it was juvenile shit. Before I realized the juvenile shit is the point and is actually really fun. Yeah. And then it was a couple of years ago, I think I went back to it and I was just like, oh wait, this is actually kind of genius and really fun. Yeah,
that's fair. In terms of the films, I think 1 is the first one I've watched, or at least it's just the one I've watched the most. Because even though it felt like quite a few years since I'd watched them. Like, I definitely haven't rewatched any since we saw Jackass Forever in cinemas. Yeah.
Which was one of the best cinema experiences.
I've never laughed that hard. Yeah, that was really fun. But I hadn't rewatched them since then. And yet, when we were watching them for Jackassathon, 1 was the one where I was most going, I remember this bit, I know this one. Oh, yeah. Whereas 2 and 3 dipped off a little bit in my memory. And then, like, obviously Forever. It's like, oh, yeah, I remember when we saw this in cinemas.
Do you want to give your controversial ranking of the movies now?
Yeah, I think Forever's my favourite one, which I did post about on the Reddit and did get mixed responses. Everyone, like, fairly polite about it, don't get me wrong, but many people just being like, what the fuck? That's... So, off the beaten path, I think most people would say, 2 or 3 is the best one.
2's my favourite. Yeah. I don't understand the love for 3.
I still think 3 is the weakest.
Yeah. It has some great bits, but...
It does. It's weird to say this as a fan. I consider myself a fan of Jackass, especially now. Yeah.
I think we can consider ourselves fanatics.
Honestly, I've got the box set of the movies and the show, and it's got loads of special features. I'm genuinely just going to keep going through them, especially with the new movie coming out in a couple weeks. But I find my favourite parts of Jackass, yes, it's great fun, like seeing them just getting in the nuts and seeing silly things, but it is the more, like... out there ones and just kind of silly conceptual ones. Like after watching 7 movies in a row, it surprised me how much 4 made me laugh when by that point we'd seen everything. And I said to you, and I stand by this, my favorite part of 4 and probably Jackass as a whole is just fucking, hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, welcome to hell, while he's torturing them all. And fucking the bear.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah. I think that really highlights how good I Feel Forever is. Yeah. I can understand some people being like, oh, it doesn't have Bam, so it's just who's such an integral part.
It's a difference.
After doing research, I didn't realize how important he was in the concept of a lot of the stuff in this show. Yeah. So I can kind of understand it, but I don't know, there's just to be that deep within a franchise and still have fresh ideas. Yeah, I feel as though it's just that's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. And it felt there's more slapstick shit with them basically being trapped in a dark room and fucking hitting their heads on pans and tripping on marbles and shit. But that's the stuff I like. It's all well and good. I can like some gross out humor. Yeah. But also I was surprised on Saturday of when we watched all of them how much the gross out stuff did get to me. Yeah. It's weird. I don't necessarily consider myself as squeamish. I mean, I work with babies essentially, so I've seen all kinds of fluids and smelled all kinds of things, and yet seeing the way they do it on screen does kind of put me off, and those aren't the bits I love. I might sound insane
for this, but they definitely emphasize it because at the end of the day, these are films, this is a TV show, so the way they frame and emphasize specifically sounds, because I work a lot with sounds, I just know they emphasize certain sound effects in post, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it really kicks on a joke.
Oh, exactly.
Especially the framing. In 4, there's some great shots, which is strange to say, that really amplify the humor. And when you look at, say, the show, and it looks so cheap and DIY, you wouldn't really necessarily think that. It looks homemade. Yeah. So when they do capture something in the moment, it's kind of, it emphasizes a joke in a way that I don't think say a normal comedy with traditional like scripting could work.
Yeah, I was going to say, it surprised me how much going back through them, like the other marathon we were doing, even Final Destination, it was basically, we all lock in to watch the kills, and then we talk over the dialogue scenes. Even though I love those movies, it's just you're going to with, in that case, 5 movies in a row. In this case, 7. But it surprised me of how much of it we were just watching, because it is just back to back of, here's an idea, here's a sketch, here's a 2-second clip of them doing something, here's a more grand, more extreme stunt.
Yeah.
And, it's just constant, and how they all sort of ebb and flow. We even had a brief discussion on Saturday of I wonder how they choose the order of them in the film.
Yeah, how do they pace something like this?
Yeah.
Because it's evident over the years they have hundreds of these that they do, especially for the sequels, that they're able to make 2 movies a lot of the time. Often more, that just leaves on the cutting room. Clearly, they're making a whole film of just that, and plus a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I'm very interested in that. I would genuinely want to check out the audio commentaries for these.
The commentary was awesome. I will say that for Poo Cocktail. I only watched the Poo Cocktail one.
Yeah.
And it was only for the Poo Cocktail bit.
Oh, is it?
But just the fact that they literally got all of them together for such a simple commentary.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
It's literally all of them, like Bam, Johnny Knoxville, Dave England, all of them. Yeah.
But also, what a treat looking at the story of this was.
Yes, yeah.
I did not know anything about what's the magazine?
Big Brother
and CKY.
Yeah.
CKY. I didn't know anything about this. There's a really great documentary called The Story of Big Brother. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's just like putting all of this into context, at least for me.
Yeah.
And I hate saying this. I hate biopics, but I generally wouldn't be surprised in like 20 years if someone tries to attempt making this, because this story is very compelling. Yeah. Just like how much narrative threads are like laid out and then come back later on. It's a real rags to riches story. It's great.
It's so what's the word? Expansive in how it all links together.
Yeah.
So many people had to be in so many places for all of it to happen.
Yeah.
And I also don't like biopics, but I could see how they would turn this into a story, because it is a narrative in itself.
Yeah. I was like really invested about it. So, shall we get into the actual history of it?
Yes, let's. And, there's so many people make up Jackass, and we will be talking about all of them. But I will be starting with the person that I feel like most people know just as a sort of protagonist to link this all together.
Yeah. Just
so we don't get too confused. So imagine this. It's the 90s. And Philip John Clapp, who was born and raised in Knoxville, Tennessee, was growing up watching his dad play pranks on his coworkers. And he was inspired to become an actor after reading On the Road by Jack Kerouac.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Awesome. And chose the acting name Johnny Knoxville.
Really?
Yeah, that's Johnny Knoxville's story, yeah.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, that's why I emphasized Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Because I was reading and I was just like, oh, of course his name's not fucking actually Johnny Knoxville.
I know, that's a real name. That could be a real name.
That could be a real name. It's a great name. But when I saw like Johnny Knoxville, born in Knoxville, Tennessee, I was like, that's not his real name.
Can't believe you just fucking dead named him.
I don't know if it's legal, is a legal name or just performer name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Either way, happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Don't dead name Johnny Knoxville. Not on this podcast.
Not on this podcast. So Johnny moved to LA to work in advertising as an actor to support his family. At the time, he had I don't know if they were married, a wife, but they were expecting a child as well. He had lots of ideas, including making magazine articles that involved testing self-defense equipment on himself as an homage to gonzo journalist Hunter S. Thompson. Do you know what gonzo journalism is?
Yeah, it's where you make shit up.
Well, yeah, it's written without objectivity, so more like first-person point of view. So yeah, you can essentially just kind of. I was
in a Hunter S. Thompson phase for a little while.
Really?
Yeah, I love the movie. Yeah, and I've read the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's wild. Weird guy, very fascinating.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. But yeah, Johnny pitched this idea to magazines, but none picked it up because of safety concerns.
I just want to emphasize this fucking insane it is to be like, I need to get money I need to get a proper job because my wife is not my wife, but whatever. My partner's about to have a child. I'll shoot myself. Genius.
Genius idea. And it worked.
It did. The footage is terrifying. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
The fucking... Okay, so he loads the gun. This is like at the end of it.
Yeah.
But it's so he shoots it, but it's the last because it's a
revolver.
It's a revolver. So he has to pull the trigger 5 times before it hits him. And like I've seen it like 3 times and I'm holding my breath. And it's terrifying. He's terrifying.
It's such a scary clip. It's not in Jackass.
I know. The
prior bits of him. So we'll get to the specifics in a sec, but the prior bits of the other equipment he was testing are in the first episode of Jackass.
Yeah.
And they cut the gun bit out.
Yeah.
Like that's how far it went. And but yeah, so we'll just to bridge the gap between the safety concerns and the video actually being made. So 1996, skateboarding magazine Big Brother, where Jeff Tremaine was an editor. Obviously, if you're a fan of Jackass, you'll pick up on all the names as we go through.
Mm-hmm.
So, Big Brother. Should we talk about Big Brother a little bit?
Big Brother,
skateboarding magazine.
Skateboarding magazines.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Started in the 90s. Skateboarding was seen as a trend. That was sort of just like a kind of a social fad, a style movement. And Steve Rocco kind of wanted to capitalize on kind of an untapped market. There wasn't much around in terms of skateboarding mags specifically.
Yeah, in the documentary, they emphasize Trans World, and Thrasher.
Yeah.
Yeah, both are big in California. But the one was like more hardcore and the other was more like everyday consumer market.
Yeah.
Trans World was more like for everyone else.
Yeah. So they wanted to sort of bridge the gap, make something more unique, and it definitely slowly became more unique as time went on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Big Brother, essentially, their main draw was, yes, the skateboarding stuff, but they also ended up doing a lot of risque humor.
Yeah.
They really wanted to sort of get out there and push boundaries.
It's that thing we were talking about with Beavis and Butthead, where it's that Gen X idea of just anything's a go.
Exactly.
Push discretion to the max.
Yeah, they had...
and from the documentary, they show some of the advertisements and holy fuck.
Yeah, there's nudity, there's drugs, they literally have like an article on how to kill yourself, how to buy meth. It's like... stuff that we're laughing about at the time. Oh, some people weren't.
I know, that's crazy to think now.
Yeah. I really wanted to talk about this because obviously in the Beavis and Butthead episode, we spoke about how a lot of the things said about Beavis and Butthead were things people were saying now about kids.
Yeah.
I find it so interesting, especially now, just for if you don't know, if you're an American listener or from somewhere else, the UK just passed a rule on banning social media for under 16-year-olds, which we won't get into, but it's just that same sort of idea of protect the kids. And hearing the people, and like the fucking news were talking about Big Brother, and saying about how it's not safe. There were town meetings held, stores were, being targeted essentially for complaints.
That always had the reverse effect of just that is amazing marketing.
Yeah, exactly. It's outrage marketing.
Yeah.
It will always bring people more into it. And the thing is, this is always my argument of like, they're saying like our Big Brother was a kids magazine. And the thing is, there were articles where they tried to hit more of a kid audience, but still hid stuff within.
Yeah.
So, and I understand that regard, but calling what Big Brother was like a magazine for like teenage boys, yeah, it was, but also then, how are they getting it? They it's accessible to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's that same sort of idea in my head as when people say like, oh, people on the internet, like kids on the internet see stuff they shouldn't be. And it's like, yeah, but how are they getting there in the first place? It's because kids are looking for it.
Yeah.
Kids are interested in this stuff. Teenage boys are going to be interested in this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's surprising. I'm never one to link stuff to gender, especially because I'm not like necessarily the most embodiment of a traditionally masculine person.
Mm-hmm.
But when a boy is brought up being like, oh, this is what boys play with. Boys play in the mud. Boys are rough. Boys are, oh, look at him. He's 4 years old. But when he's older, he's going to be a really handsome man. All the women are going to be fighting him off.
A lady boy.
Yeah. It's like, no wonder boys grew up sort of seeking this out.
Yeah.
And also girls who were like trying to not fit the stereotypical mold of a traditional girly girl.
No, that's true.
You know, especially in the 90s where subcultures were becoming more subversive.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially with this generation.
Yeah. It's very interesting to compare to now when styles, you know, there are distinct styles, what's the terms? Like
Subcultures?
Subcultures, yeah. But kind of exemplified by the internet where it's more accessible because people can connect to people through the internet.
Yeah.
But also it feels then more
wide
varied.
Yeah, it was really quite nice actually, just seeing like this subculture birthing a sort of community.
Yeah.
And whatever your opinions on the stuff they do within this and the actual magazine itself, because obviously it's going to ruffle a lot of feathers, and I think a lot of the time they do push things too far, but it's all, I think when it's skirting that line is when it makes really stuff, because there's definitely a lot to admire, I feel, with the magazine. They're always pushing new ideas. They were experimenting with formats. They were trying different things all of the time.
I was really interested in how they showcased skateboarding tricks in print by showing like frames from videos. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, they popularized that, and the stuff they were doing outside of the skater stuff was like, I feel, just as interesting.
Yeah.
Did you get to see like any of the actual writing within the magazine? I know they're on the archive if anyone's interested.
Yeah, I only saw what was shown in the documentary.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think I love zines. I love homegrown collaborative community artistic efforts. So seeing something like this was just like, this is fantastic. Especially like right at the beginning where like Spike Jonze was doing, it was very bare basics. For a magazine, there was hardly anything there, and even they said this out, they don't feel like it was like it didn't reach its potential, and well, not its potential, what it was supposed to be until like the second issue. But like it was there. It was like the idea of it was just like in the first like go. Yeah,
exactly. And it's a medium that doesn't really exist anymore.
Zines still exist.
There's
like a deep community of them, but yeah, it's not.
It's
like
not
it used to be.
general
so
things.
That definitely contributes my fondness to it. I feel just because of just the idea of a community getting together and making a magazine and it's sort of blowing up organically.
It's weird. The internet makes you feel like there's so much community, but also less community just because it's online.
Definitely it having to be a physical item really contributes. Like you need all these people in one space.
Yes.
Going out, writing articles, coming together, having to format it together.
Yeah, exactly. It's an art form that's still out there, but it is a shame what has been lost over time,
I guess.
Yeah,
but we wouldn't have heard about it at the time, would we?
No, exactly. Well,
so I guess we're kind of lucky in the sense that we can look back on this and be like, wow, what a wonderful thing this existed. Yeah.
I'm glad that this is still accessible. But no, I completely agree. Yeah, so you mentioned Spike Jonze. So we had Jeff Tremaine was working as an editor at Big Brother, and he brought in Spike Jonze, who he had known since he was 12, and around the time that the magazine was taken over by pornographer Larry Flynt.
Yeah.
Which is another point of contention.
He shows up in the videos.
Yeah, he does, yeah. A man called Steve-O contacted Big Brother because he wanted to be involved. He couldn't skateboard, but he framed himself as the comic relief kind of stuntman, basically the one you'd see like get his ass handed to him all the time.
He showed up and he just started doing shit, and they tried to get rid of him, but he didn't.
Just leave.
Yeah, I do like that anecdote in the documentary where he said he was practicing his autograph before anyone wanted it because he just really wanted to be famous, and he just did shit.
Some people just have that drive about them.
Yeah.
When parents say of like, oh, you want a job, just like don't take no for an answer. 99% of the time that doesn't work. But if you're a guy like Steve-O...
yeah, where, especially for like a magazine like this, it's a one-upmanship deal. You need to do the craziest thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, setting yourself on fire and shit. It's just like, well, if we don't take this guy on, he will get himself killed trying to get somewhere else. So jumping back to Johnny Knoxville. So Jeff convinced Johnny to film a stunt featuring the gun and the tasers for Big Brother. The stunt was featured in the Big Brother video number 2, which featured a bunch of people who were working with Big Brother and would go on to be on Jackass. So to shout them out. So we got Jackson Acuna, also known as Wee Man. We've got...
Oh, wait, I just want to say, in the documentary again, I keep saying this, but so I'll be done soon.
Yeah, that's okay.
his what's it called?
Like title card name?
Yeah, his title card to come up as local legend when he got to that. I was like,
that's awesome. But like we said, there's a lot of moving pieces going into this. So, well, let's just go for the Big Brother ones first, and then we'll talk about the other pieces that fall into this. So we got other people in Big Brother: Chris Pontius, Dave England. I probably told myself I would pronounce this right. Dmitry Elishevic, I think. I hope. Who would go on to be the cinematographer for Jackass. We got Rick Kosick, who would become a cameraman for Jackass. Sean Cliver, photographer, and Loomis Fall, who has appeared in Jackass as well, all working with Big Brother. Now, we've said we watched... So we've watched these Big Brother videos that they were making sort of in the build-up to
How many?
Jackass.
Have you seen them all?
Yeah, so I've seen number 2, Boob, Shit, and Crap. Which obviously Crap came out in the Jackass era.
I've only seen number 2.
That's fair. What did you think of number 2? So number 2 released in 1998, just for context.
This is like part of the course. Have you ever seen like skateboarding videos like this?
Yes,
Yeah.
On YouTube, just sort of roundabout.
Yeah. I really enjoy watching them. I love this specific era of video cameras, like the PD like 150s, like the because I have like a bunch myself. I love it, especially the wide angle lenses they use.
Yeah.
So that's always a treat. The skateboarding stuff, I could give a take. I think it's quite cool sometimes.
I think it's
I am
cool.
genuinely just there for the context, which sounds dumb, but but that's always a treat. With this one, it's a mix between skateboarding stuff and just general fucking about.
Fuckery, yeah, just boys being boys. I thought they were going to kill a mouse.
Yeah, me too.
I can't believe that mouse survived.
I know.
If you haven't seen number 2, they put a mouse in a firework and shoot it up into space. And the firework, the bit the mouse is in doesn't explode. It's like a rocket essentially.
Yeah.
But it was fine. At least it survived.
Yeah. You see, whose dick do you see? Was it Chris's?
Might be. I didn't write down, but yeah, you
see him drink piss. That's awesome.
There's nudity. Yeah, who hasn't? And then
and then you get the Johnny.
The Johnny test. So this is also featured in episode 1 of Jackass. So you see him get pepper sprayed, stun gunned, tasered, and then, like we mentioned, this isn't in Jackass. They cut it out. You see him shoot himself in the chest, and it's really interesting when they talk about in the story of Big Brother. Johnny Knoxville was kind of the first guy they thought was like kind of more of a camera presence, like he could talk on camera.
I definitely agree. He
Yeah.
definitely has aura.
Yeah. He's a very presenter type.
He's got a great voice.
Yeah, but it's really funny hearing the story of how building up to filming that, and then being like, I know you've got a wife and kid, I can't shoot you. Like, it sounds like the plan wasn't for him to shoot himself, it was for someone else to shoot him, which is crazy, because if something did go wrong and he did die, that person would then be caught for manslaughter.
Yeah.
Like, if you shoot yourself and something goes wrong, it's...
I mean, you have video evidence, at least, to sort of, like, lower the sentence.
That's true, but then you also have... You could argue that's video evidence of you killing a guy.
Like, only if you're covering it up.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it is crazy. I actually think they're going to talk about this, or at least show a bit of it, in Jackass Best and Last.
Yeah.
Because the shot of them driving in the car afterwards, and like showing his shirt and stuff, is in the trailer for Best and Last. It's like the last shot you see.
I really hope it's like a full history of it, because that'd be wonderful, especially at this point where I've learned so much about it. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, I did enjoy watching that. Also, you see a guy break his arm right at the end.
Yeah!
That was horrible. Oh. Usually it's like you see a guy get whacked and there's kind of enough separation where you are like, ooh, but like you feel safe.
That bone was out.
When they showed it, and it was like, oh, that's horrible. Yeah. Also Mr. T, isn't it? Or Dr. T? Is that Mr. T?
Mr. T.
It was.
Dr. T.
He called himself Dr. T.
He did these... They're in Red Media. They covered it. They're like kids' educational videos that they're riffing on, because they pulled stuff from like other movies as well,
That's
like Doctor Strange and other stuff.
Yeah, they took clips out, and they kept doing that for the others. So you didn't watch any of the others?
No, I didn't get a chance.
That's fair. I just thought it was interesting. So Boob came out in 1999. it features aggressive dancing, which is kind of something that would come up in Jackass. The idea of, aggressively dancing at people in public.
I like the stuff in 1.
Yeah, I like the stuff in 1. You actually see Johnny Knoxville try and skateboard, and he sucks at it. And you also see Johnny Knoxville get hit by a car.
Is that where that one's from?
Yeah.
'Cause I saw that in the documentary, and because that car smashes into him.
Yeah, it does smash into him. Yeah, and it's so quick, and then it just cuts to like more skateboarding. It's so funny. Yeah, and then Shit was 1996. That was actually the first one. A lot of nudity. That
was prior to all the Johnny
before Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah,
that was very early proto. I still watched it. It's a lot more abrasive.
Yeah,
they like go to Woodstock and harass drag queens and stuff. Keep calling them fruitcakes. But then also, like, one of the guys, like, does kiss one of the other guys. So generally it was at this point where I was just like, not to speculate on sexualities, but it does make a difference if it's a queer person being homophobic and a straight man.
I think it'd be interesting to talk about it, about the queer readings, which we're definitely going to have later on.
Yeah.
We'll set aside, like, some time to talk.
Yeah.
Because I think it's, like, a nuanced thing.
I agree, and we'll come back to that later. And during these ones, they also intercut with news reports, the one they showed in the documentaries, basically, of people talking about how bad it was. What was wild to me is they were saying, the news reports were criticizing them for using, like, the N-word in written magazines, but the news anchors obviously just said the word. It's like controversy because of them saying duh, and it's just like, now you've said it as well. Yeah, and I also watched Crap, and it's just more skateboarding pretty much.
Yeah,
which was 2001, so that was post Jackass starting. I'm glad I watched them. They're pretty cool history, but they weren't the only things that led to Jackass creation. Because around the same time as these were all being filmed, professional skateboarder Bam Margera was filming home videos with his friends and family.
You've seen obviously you've seen the documentary.
Yeah.
There's a little bit in it, and I had to blink twice. They met him when he was a kid.
Did they?
Yeah, when they were going on tour, they met this 13-year-old with his dad, and it was Bam.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was like a blink and miss it moment. I had to rewind it like a couple of times. But this is before, like, they didn't, sign him up or anything. He was just skating.
That's awesome.
And he was with his dad.
Yeah, and his dad, the same dad that we see. Yeah. That's so cool. The same dad.
The same dad.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. I guess it's that sort of idea of they're in similar interests in similar places. The paths kind of cross. But yeah, Bam Margera, so he's filming these home videos featuring stunts, pranks, and skateboarding called CKY, or Camp Kill Yourself, which I think is a great title.
Yeah. So much of the DNA. Obviously, they pulled clips from it, but this is Jackass.
This is proto Jackass. All the stuff with Big Brother has Jackass elements, but Camp Kill Yourself is just pretty much Jackass before Jackass was a thing. So we also got more cast members from Jackass. We got Bam, Ryan Dunn, who sadly passed away, but is very integral to the history of Jackass. Brendan DiCamillo. Chris Rabb, or his stage name is Rabb himself, which I think is a great name. Ray Keown, and Margera's family, his mother April, his father Phil, Uncle Don Vito, and brother / the drummer for CKY, his Jesse, or Jess. Yeah.
Did you get a chance to actually watch the video?
Which video now?
CKY.
CKY?
Yeah.
No, I didn't actually.
Okay, I did watch that one.
Okay. What was that one like?
Great.
Yeah.
They're fucking around in Philadelphia, so that's fun. There's a ton of stuff they pull directly from it that they use in the first episode, much like how they pull stuff from number 2, like the Johnny Knoxville stuff to put into it as well.
Oh,
and
cool.
it's just like a mishmash, and then you obviously get the poo cocktail, which is like new stuff.
The poo cocktail,
but a lot of it is just pulled directly from this.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, because they released these.
Like, you know the clip of him, like, smashing his head on the mattress?
Yeah.
That's from that.
That was an insane clip.
No, it's so funny.
It looks like he dies. I've never seen a head move like that.
And the shopping trolley cart with the pumpkin on the head, that's from
really?
Head as well. Yeah.
Oh, cool. It's definitely something I'll look into more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's 4 of them. They made a movie. I'm going to check it out.
Okay.
In that sort of similar style, where it's just him and his friend in like 2003.
Okay.
So I'll check that out at some point.
That'd be interesting, especially because that's post Jackass by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that more. But yeah, they became very popular because of these videos. Jeff Tremaine saw them and flew Bamagera to Los Angeles to meet with him. And Tremaine thought the CKY group would fit a stunt and prank TV show perfectly that he, Johnny Knoxville, and Spike Jonze were planning. So we've already mentioned Spike Jonze. At the time, he was skateboarding and BMX photographer. Now a very acclaimed director.
Yeah, because John Malkovich was out by this point, I believe.
Was it? Was it then like that early on?
1999?
Damn, I didn't realize it was that early on.
Yeah,
Have a look.
Yeah, because I know he did like music videos.
Yeah, he did music videos
prior to this, which are all fantastic. There's a great compilation of all his music videos, and genuinely, they're still impressive to this day. They're extraordinary.
You actually, on All Hail the King, we do a segment called Recommendations, where you recommended some Spike Jonze music videos.
Yeah.
So yeah, Being John Malkovich was 1999.
Yeah. So he had like quite a bit of swag, and it was like very well acclaimed.
Yeah. Oh, I completely forgot he did Where the Wildflowers Are.
Yeah. Have you seen Being John Malkovich?
I haven't actually. The only film I've actually seen, well, I've seen Where the Wild Things Are, but I've seen Her as well.
Yeah, Her's great.
Yeah. Right, I haven't seen Being John Malkovich. It's always one I've wanted to watch.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, I've always wanted to watch it. I just never got around to it.
And Adaptation's really good as well.
Okay, I've not heard of that one. Because Being John Malkovich is Charlie Kaufman, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like he wrote it.
So is that Adaptation.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because I really like Charlie Kaufman's work. So definitely add it to my watch list and check out more of his films. But yeah, so just funny to think someone so acclaimed was working on this, especially. Yeah. But they shot demo footage and pitched the show to networks. SNL offered them a segment, but they rejected the offer. And then there was a bidding war between Comedy Central, FX, and MTV. And MTV won. And well, they basically had the choice of the three.
Yeah.
And MTV was chosen because they offered them half-hour weekly show and greater creative control.
I can imagine as well, considering how much music plays like an important role in it, I wonder if that was like a big contribution to it.
Genuinely, I wouldn't be that surprised.
Yeah.
Because it kind of takes over the licensing issues then.
Yeah, because it's just like, we play the music all the time, so... Yeah. It's the same for like Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't imagine on any other network with like all those rights to use it, because specifically like punk and hardcore punk was so integral to like these skateboarding videos.
Yeah.
And sort of mesh that in with this show. It gels really well.
Yeah, you actually get that in the Big Brother videos. There's a lot of music playing over.
Yeah, it's very integral.
Yeah, so I completely agree. But yeah, it was Van Toffler, the president of MTV at the time, said, "We just knew there was a bunch of knuckleheads out there that would have a very high tolerance for stupidity and pain." Yeah. After the MTV deal, Tremaine got in touch with Steve-O. Steve-O was actually working as a clown at the time.
That's true?
Yeah.
I saw that on IMDb trivia, and I was just like, oh, cool. Fellow clown brother out there.
Yeah, big fan of clowns, yeah. Yeah, he was, as far as I can tell, it's true. I've never seen anything disproving it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. He's distributing VHS tapes of his stunts and performances. But he actually, some of the stunts that he'd filmed, I'm guessing a lot of the fire-based ones maybe, were not approved by MTV because of their graphic nature, which obviously also that includes the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave England brought in his friend Erin McGee, an extreme stunt performer, and Johnny Knoxville brought in Preston Lacey, who he had worked with before, to write ideas, but eventually he also convinced Preston to do stunts as well.
Yeah.
So we've got our whole crew together now.
We've got the squad.
The squad. I'll give a summary, just in case all those names got confusing. So, Jackass is credited as created by Jeff Tremaine, Johnny Knoxville, and Spike Jonze, directed by Jeff Tremaine, music by Sam Spiegel and Dave Rowan, produced by Trip Taylor, cinematography by Dmitry Ishlevic, edited by Ivan Victor, Christy Young, Gaffney, and Mark Hansen. The first episode, Poo Cocktail, aired October 1st, 2000.
Cool.
Yes. So, the first shot we get of anything Jackass is Johnny Knoxville in a cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously you get the iconic, I'm Johnny Knoxville, welcome to Jackass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get the intro, which is a compilation of clips from another thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny to think. What did you think of this episode as like a first episode of a show?
It just throws you right into it.
Yeah, it just gets to the point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just is Jackass.
It's weird now seeing it, because I watched this a couple of weeks ago because I just fancied watching some of it.
Yeah.
And I remember enjoying it now, but seeing all the context of it and just seeing where everything is pulled from, it is definitely a Frankenstein of other projects. But the new stuff I really, really like. The Poo Cocktail was great.
Yeah.
I was really laughing at that.
Yeah, it's interesting to think of
I like the Wee Man stuff. I love that. Him fucking shredding his own Oompa Loompa.
I never considered, it's really stupid, but especially because they're all skateboarders, I never considered how good they would all be at skateboarding.
Yeah.
Which is really dumb because they're professional skateboarders.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate that it's like all these guys basically getting painfully fucked over in certain ways, and then it's just Wee Man shredding, and he's really fucking good at it.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Yeah. But yeah, we get some classic pranks. So the first prank we see, and this is what I talked about earlier, with kind of the line between a prank and harassment, is the fake boner prank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the movie does it better. The movies do it tend to a lot better because they tend to be a lot bigger and a lot more elaborate, involving a lot more people. When you're like on this small scale, you can just rely on just annoying other people. However, in this case, I do like the final person being the only person to actually point it out, be actually really good.
Yeah, I actually did think that was really good payoff, especially with how casually he does it. It's not like a disturbed thing. He's just like...
Yeah, because in my head, the biggest part of the joke is just no one acknowledging it.
Yeah. Exactly.
The boner in the room.
The boner in the room. We get such random intercut things, because we also get like Steve-O then.
Yeah.
Just putting his entire mouth around a glass and shotgunning it. But that's immediately followed by Johnny getting pepper sprayed and tasered.
Yeah.
And stuff. So they do go for a wide range in this episode. So I do think they just kind of capture what is Jackass really well, if not like on a much simpler scale, because of obviously having seen the movies and how it just kind of keeps upping and upping up. Upping itself.
You can go back to this, and I can understand someone going back to this and being like, oh, it's so much tamer.
Yeah.
But I still think there's really some great stuff within it.
Oh, absolutely. I think so as well. Yeah, most of my notes are just kind of going through beat by beat of what we see. And it is interesting to see things that would kind of become staples throughout. Mm-hmm. So, like, fat fucks. I thought,
Oh, yeah, fat suits.
Yeah, the fat suits and them doing stuff like that. I was surprised in that first episode. One of them always gets run over. Did you notice that? Yeah, he, like, is in a wheelchair, kind of throws himself.
Yes, he does.
And he, like, almost gets run over.
Yeah, was that Bam?
I'm not sure. I can never tell when they're in the suits.
Mm.
Yeah. Another prank I did like, and
well, then in the trunk.
The trunk I liked as well. Yeah, those are kind of the pranks I like, where it's more confusion.
Yeah.
So the one I was thinking of specifically is the daddy and baby on the bike.
Yeah.
And it's just extreme crashes, and then just everyone panicking over the baby. It's fine, and just riding off. Yeah.
I want to emphasize as well. It takes a very specific... You can look at this and be like, oh, it's just juvenile behavior. And it is. It's dumb. But also, it takes a very specific kind of person to be able to shut off that embarrassing part of your brain in order to do these things in public.
That is...
So you could label them psychopathic. And you could definitely count for like a lot of TikTokers, especially now, where it's very mean. But if done right, it's like kind of extraordinary to see. It's
interesting. We've always got this sort of general culture in the UK of being afraid of kids specifically.
Yeah. And
I think it is just because of like that inherent switch that you kind of develop as you get older to repress yourself and feel shame. We say about it sometimes when people piss us off in the cinema because they're talking and have their phones on, and we're just like, do people not feel shame? Like, how are they not
feel shame
but
anymore?
It's generous. Like, how are they not embarrassed to be perceived?
Yeah.
But then you could argue that's also not good to be kind of sheltered.
It is.
And these guys can just shed that and just go out like,
there's like a lot to admire about that.
Yeah. We've had times before where obviously we've, if you've listened to, say, our Lost episode or Little Britain, we've like had to just scream on mic.
Yeah.
And I have to like build, even in my own house, when no one is in here, I have to build up to doing that.
We have to kill our own panopticons in order to...
Yeah, genuinely. And it's interesting, talking about that now, when back then they were being films doing embarrassing stuff, and it is embarrassing when you think about it.
Yeah.
And yet now people are afraid to do things out in public because they're afraid someone's recording them. And I think consent is the big difference in that. If a stranger is recording you to post you and you don't know, versus, you're doing a prank and your friend is recording you.
Yeah, they're in that sweet spot of not everyone had a camera.
Yeah.
Except them.
And it's funny to think when, like we said with Beavis and Butthead, people see this kind of behavior and think, hooligans, that's why it's called Jackass. It's jackasses.
Yeah.
And, I can imagine, if I saw this going out in public, I probably would think like, oh, fuck those guys. And you're thinking of, say, for example, Logan Paul in Japan throwing Pokeballs at people.
Yeah.
And compared to this. And it is a thin line.
Yeah, there is in our head.
Yeah.
Do you think there is like... Is it more just like, I know it's good when I see it? Do you think it's just time that's been like kind to
You
her?
could argue it's nostalgia and the fact that we know these people and we like these people. I do think, as much as I hate Logan Paul, for example, just to pull from that example, I think that people do give more grace to people that they like than people that they don't. Whether the liking is justified or not.
Because there's definitely times when, say, when we were looking at the Big Brother documentary.
Yeah.
Where I was thinking, okay, this is pushing it too far. There's stuff I admire about it, on how they're pushing boundaries, whether they should be or not, for the magazine. But there are definitely times I'm thinking, all right, that's too far. You're just being pricks.
Yeah. That's how I felt watching the one where they were, for lack of a better term, harassing the drag queens.
Yeah.
And, they got their shit called out and everyone basically cheered and laughed at them.
Yeah.
Because they got their asses handed to them by a bunch of drag queens verbally. But, yeah, it is a fine line. Where do you draw the line between a prank that's acceptable and public nuisance? Obviously, the prank content now is so different. I feel like a lot of our generation associate pranks with people like Sam Pepper, who got banned from YouTube for like faking a murder.
Yeah.
Which, it's like, that's a ridiculous prank. But you can see where the waters get muddied.
I think what people love about this, though, like the super fans of it, is keeping it internal a lot of the time, fucking with each other. I think that's what's great about Forever.
Yeah.
Given the restrictions, is that it's just them fucking and taking it to different extremes.
Yeah.
It's still, there's a camaraderie within it.
Yeah.
It's incredibly endearing for how stupid
I
and
agree.
gross it is. It's they're constant. You can view what they're doing as borderline toxic masculinity of them doing stupider and stupider things to impress each other. But there's something kind of sweet about that.
I completely agree that the difference is, and I think this is when it kind of breaks it for me in Jackass, like the films, is when they involve the public versus when they're doing it with themselves.
Yeah.
I do think there is stuff you can just get away with more when you're pranking friends. Like when I can't remember which film it was they blurred together, but when they shave each other's heads, I don't know where, it's like, I'd be pissed if one of you did that to me, but I'd be like, I could laugh it off afterwards.
Yeah.
Whereas if you did that to a stranger, that is, for lack of a better term, assault. I know we're taking it very seriously, but it is true.
Yeah.
Or for example, I said, I don't like it. I jokingly said, I don't like it when they actually scare each other. So for example, Bam is afraid of snakes and they put him in like snake pits. Preston Lacey is afraid of heights, which I also am. And they make him go on top of a high platform for one of the pranks. And you can see the difference between, I'm not sure about this versus genuine fear. And part of me is like, I hate when they scare each other. But then also,
when there's a bear eating salmon out of fucking Aaron's crotch, I was crying laughing.
Oh yeah, I was. But that's the thing. That's why I think there's a difference between when a friend scares a friend, than when you there's that mutual kind of understanding.
Yeah.
And
there's a line. There's a thin line between flirting and sexual harassment.
I think that's a really good way to frame it, though.
Yeah,
It's
so strange. It's such an anomaly. It shouldn't work, but it does a lot of the time.
And it's an individual basis. You might think we're overthinking this way too much, but also there are people who just watch stuff like this and think it's abhorrent.
Yeah, just
by default.
I don't. There's a lot of creativity.
Yeah,
at work, like conceptually. There's lumber involved a lot of the time.
Oh, that was gone. It was lumber involved.
So they do put like a ton of it. Yeah. Especially, I love the end sequence in 2 so much. The dance sequence.
The dance sequence. I
think
love
it's incredible.
It's funny, like you said about toxic masculinity. This is another. It's kind of like the reverse of what we said about killing your own panopticon.
Yeah.
There's like doing embarrassing shit in public, and then there's also just singing and dancing.
Yeah.
A lot of people are very shy about that.
They pull from a wide range of references for their movies as well as the show.
Yeah.
So they know what they're talking about. It's funny we're saying about toxic masculinity because a lot of people view this as like a sort of a weirdly positive one as it goes along.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely understand the framing of like why it would be toxic masculinity, as it is just kind of the most masculine thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's different to modern toxic masculinity. So, of course you could say, boys will be boys. The reason that boys don't live as long as girls by default, and I always like boys, girls, men, women. I'm not calling them male and females. I'm just not
moids and femoids.
Yeah, I'm just going to use boys and girls interchangeably. Obviously, I'm talking about adults. It is the whole idea of boys will do stupid shit and get themselves killed.
Yeah.
Or even just, in a head injury that would later develop into something and stuff like that. But I think it is just kind of the camaraderie, the comfortability around each other. Like, not even just in terms of, the shit they do with each other, like the hands-on stuff, the fact that most of the time they're naked around each other.
They're very comfortable being naked around each other and with each other's fluids.
Yeah, this is my idea of modern toxic masculinity is your Andrew Tates, your, manosphere people.
Posturing?
It's almost like it isn't just almost like they are. They're insecure about being men. They've got to prove that they're men. The Jackass dudes don't have to prove shit. Yeah. They just are what they are.
I think it's fascinating because you could, in a sense, view this as, they're only acting this way as for the humor of the show. Yeah. However, I think they take it to such an extremity that it blows that ceiling wide open.
Oh, I think it's absolutely for them.
Yeah. They do find it funny, but they do love... You're not able to do this just for humor. You have to be comfortable with this and each other in order to do these sort of stunts.
When you're putting shit in each other's asses, you're watching your friend flatten his penis and play ping pong with it. Like, you just gotta be comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I understand when people aren't, but it is that sort of thing of feeling secure.
Yeah.
And, yes, you can argue it's toxic masculinity in terms of maybe it's not a good for and I feel this way as what I am considered in a way a male role model for. With my line of work, men are less common than women. So perhaps that's my perspective. Where you could look at these people and think, oh yeah, they're not good male role models because boys might copy them and get themselves hurt. But then also they've got such genuine close friendships with their guy friends.
Yeah,
that I think a lot of guys are insecure with their own friends. Yeah. I feel like I am sometimes, but I think for different reasons. But it's true.
Yeah.
And the fact that
men express love in very weird ways.
Yeah. And saying this, I know some of our friends do listen. I've been open before about sometimes I just don't feel like one of the boys, and it's such a stupid, antiquated term, but it's true. And it's,
you often hear the reverse of, say, women a lot of time not feeling like belonging in a lot of girl groups.
Yeah,
but the opposite does occur.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that sort of weird in between. So it's nice to be able to watch Jackass with all of us. I want to be able to watch it with all of us, but with our guy friends especially as well. And you kind of get past the idea of you just looking at a guy's dick for most of it. And
yeah, it's incredible. After a certain point, you're so desensitized.
It's just the human body. I saw something this is kind of not a tangent, but it is related. It's just kind of my whole opinion on just nudity in general. I'm not a nudist, but it is funny looking at. We had lots of conversations about sex scenes and gore and how people are more comfortable with certain things than others. And I think this is that sort of weird in between where it's got really gross out shit.
Yeah.
But then also there are some people who are more put off by the fact that you're just seeing dudes naked.
Yeah.
Than
the shit and the piss and the vomit.
The piss and the vomit. Yeah. And it's interesting of how you are just like seeing guys in fucking bare ass nude doing shit.
Yeah.
And I saw I can't remember what it was, but it was something where someone was wearing something quite revealing on TikTok. Not nude, obviously, because it was TikTok. But someone left a comment saying something, kind of like a jokey comment of, I shouldn't be looking at this. This is borderline porn. And someone responded to them saying, can you not just look at the human body and not immediately sexualize it? And it kind of feels like that in my head as well, of just... They're comfortable in their masculinity because they're not limited by the rules that a lot of people self-impose.
Okay.
I mean, think of nowadays with manosphere people where Andrew Tate's like, you hug your friends, that's gay. That's simple shit like that. Obviously, that can be taken to extremes. But even
that sort of masculinity where it tells you what you can't do.
Yeah.
Rather than, you're able to do this with your friends, I'll say.
Exactly. And I
And this is a very common reading.
Yeah.
Even the crew would agree. They have been asked how about the queer readings, and they're just like, yes.
Yeah. But it is so interesting to call it queer readings, because even though it is, it's,
people speculate, but I don't believe any of the crew like ever come out as queer or anything.
No,
it's more just like viewing this sort of relationship on screen.
Queerness is indifferent to the norm of traditional masculinity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely is in that regard.
And you can look at like the early Big Brother stuff, and you can definitely see the prototype of that sort of the opposite, more or less.
Yeah.
Not the prototype, but like the opposite of just the juvenile masculinity portrayed of just hyper aggression constantly. Yeah. I don't really get that, at least from this.
No, that's the one thing that kind of put me off when I was watching those Big Brother ones, especially the let me double check which one it was.
Was it shit?
Especially shit, where it did feel very aggressive.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's not really how I see Jackass and the latest stuff. They're not aggressive about things.
Yeah, they're not angry.
No.
They're stupid and funny.
Yeah. And if you don't know what I mean, or like what we're talking about specifically, I would recommend watching shit just to see the difference. Because it's the point where I watched Boob.
Because there's a lot of DNA within it.
Yeah, it is.
So, but it's just...
It's the framing and the attitudes towards it. Because I watched Boob and and number 2, and I didn't think anything like that. And then watching shit, which was only 2 years before that, I was genuinely uncomfortable watching some of those. And there's uncomfortability with like, oh, I don't want to see a guy puke and I don't want to see a guy covered in shit.
I'm fine with that.
But like, I am. But there was genuine comfortable of like, I don't like the way these people are like talking to people and talking to each other.
Yeah.
And if you think I sound childish in that regard, just seek it out and form your own opinion.
Yeah.
Because I think you will see a difference.
Yeah, the stuff I've seen of her, I'm just like, this ain't working.
No.
It's the worst aspects of that time and place.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they very much quickly grew out of that. And you can look back on Jackass episode 1 and the pieces forming together and immediately just kind of see what the films would become.
Yeah.
But I want to specifically talk about the namesake of the episode, Poo Cocktail.
You want to talk about the actual stunt?
The actual stunt, yeah. Mainly because it's so interesting seeing them go back to doing this stunt and, they've got the entire head wrapped, goggles, they phone and be like, what shots should I get?
Yeah, I like that. I don't know whether he actually did go through with getting like shots and that. I think that is just set up to build suspense for it, and it's a very funny one, especially hearing the nurse laughing.
I do think so as well.
Yeah.
But also, they said in the commentary, this was back when they were still worried about poo. They've done so much since then.
Yeah, now they strap you in a bungee cord.
Yeah. Well, some of the people on Reddit, when I posted about it, said like, hang on, are you talking about the show Poo Cocktail or the movie one? Because the movie does just take it to 1 million.
Yeah.
Like fucking bungee cord.
I do think the 1 in 3 is like one of my favorite ones. That is so disgusting and funny.
That is, yeah. Johnny Knoxville said that the worst part of the Poo Cocktail was it was cold.
Oh, what?
Which I don't know if it would be better if it was. I was going to say I don't know if it would be better if it was warm.
Yeah, I like the aftermath as well of him in the car wash and running after
chasing everyone.
That was so funny.
That's what I mean in terms of like the positive masculinity. That's something you would do with your friends.
Yeah, just like I got through this. Now you all have to suffer because of it.
The amount of times I've had shit on my hands and just gone to like put it on someone else.
Yeah,
especially like when we go up the cottage, I can think of multiple times I'd be working on the generator, have oil on me and just like rub it on Val.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's episode 1 Poo Cocktail, and the rest is history, really.
Yeah. 1 million movies.
1 million movies. They ran for 3 seasons, 25 episodes, ending August 12th, 2001. Obviously, after the TV series ended, many cast members moved into movie and TV. Johnny Knoxville became an actor. Bam Margera and the CKY group had a spin-off on MTV from 2003 to 2005 called Viva La Bam. 2005, Ryan Dunn had an MTV show called Homewrecker. And I mentioned earlier he passed away. He passed away in 2011, so he is in... he's in 3 as well, isn't he, in the movie? Yeah, he's in the first 3 Jackass films before he passed. 2003 spin-off with Chris Pontius and Steve-O called Wild Boys, which is a practical jokes show. 2007, there was a Dr. Steve-O show. This done 11 films, including the .5s, 2 video games, 2022 trading card games, and they're stepping on our turf. I don't know if you know about this.
What podcast?
A Jackass podcast with Johnny Knoxville and Jeff Tremaine starts in 2 days at time of recording.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll check that out.
Genuinely, yeah. I was gutted. I thought it was today. So I was like, fantastic. I can listen to that before we record. I got the date wrong. But I will definitely check that out.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So if you like this episode, go check out Jackass.
Podcasts.
Yeah. But I don't know what the structure will be, but I'm very excited, especially having now, gone through it and planning on finishing the show.
The show in detail.
Yeah, I'm sure they will, to be fair. I figure, it's hosted by Johnny Knoxville and Jeff Tremaine. So I imagine they'll also get a lot of the guests on. Mm-hmm. But as always, with most shows, especially this one, it's not without its controversies. Pretty straightforward ones, to be fair, with this. Despite there always being disclaimers, not only at the start of each episode, but throughout all of them. We were laughing watching the movies at how many times...
Every time a firework was on, they had to have a warning on screen.
Yeah. They were still blamed for many injuries and deaths of young people who were quote-unquote recreating the stunts. So in 2001...
And then they hired them.
Yeah, it's funny to think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Genuinely, as much as I don't think this would happen because the Jackass is so intrinsically tied to the original group, I could see a legacy Jackass coming out at some point.
I guess.
Just for the next generation. I don't think it will, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a YouTube channel that's basically just Jackass.
Yeah.
I imagine they inspired a lot.
But in spirit.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Less literally Jackass. More a spiritual successor. But yeah, so 2001, Senator Joe Lieberman sent a letter to Viacom about the responsibility they had to protect the youth, leading to MTV cancelling all airings before 10 p.m. And that wasn't enough for Lieberman, unfortunately. He kept campaigning against the show, so MTV began refusing to air reruns, much to the frustration of cast and crew.
Oh, that's annoying.
So MTV basically buckled, which is a shame, seeing as, this was a big success for them. This one's funny though. We're going serious, funny, back to serious. So 2002, Montana man named Jackass sued them for $10 million. His birth name was Bob Kraft. He changed it in 1997 to raise awareness of drunk driving after his brother and friends died in an accident, which of course is very tragic. But yeah, Knoxville just responded to the lawsuit saying, "What could be more American than suing the living shit out of someone for no reason?" Which is a stereotype about America. If you look on TikTok and people, British people specifically saying, this person did this to me.
Sue them.
The amount of comments that's press charges, sue them. And it's just that's not how it works.
That's not, well, here it is and it is.
Here it is. Oh, over there it is. I can completely understand the cultural difference. But that's not how it works here. I would sue so many people.
Would you?
No, of course I wouldn't. Talking out my ass. I don't know how it works. I don't have legal fees. I'd love to be a lawyer, though, who just deals in stupid suing cases.
You're going to be a Saul Goodman.
Yeah, well, it is what Saul does, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, a more serious one. 2012, a New Zealand man was sentenced to 3 years in prison after setting a 16-year-old boy on fire, and his lawyer claimed it was inspired by Jackass. I'd be interested to consider if that's the lawyer's claim. It's basically how much responsibility, and this is the same conversation I had with Big Brother. How much responsibility do you put on the media itself?
I think it's clear that most people watch this and didn't set child on fire.
Yeah, most people don't.
So it seems like a you problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Case closed.
Exactly. Yeah, that's that sort of thing, isn't it? There's always going to be liars, and I'm sure there's many more stories of people being injured related to Jackass, but also there's a million people who watch Jackass and didn't get injured recreating the stunts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that.
I think he was just looking for a reason to set them on fire.
I don't know. I don't know much more about that. Finally, I got a good reason. Well, been really funny. I mean, I guess it kind of reminds me of Beavis and Butthead, which was also fire-based and, very tragic. A little girl did lose her life. But how the mother in that case blamed Beavis and Butthead for encouraging her son to play with fire, and years later the son was just I literally never watched Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
So, it's always It's looking for a reason to explain tragedies, which it's horrible that they happen, but it's not Jackass's fault. Frankly, we've said on the weekend, I'm shocked more people haven't died because of Jackass.
But what does Reddit think?
I have commented on the Reddit. There was a little bit of confusion about whether we were talking about the movie what's it called? The movie Poo Cocktail or the episode. But speaking of both, I was surprised actually. So one of the persons who commented actually said they always skip Poo Cocktail.
Like episode 1?
Like the
Oh, really?
Yeah. And yeah, they said I skipped these ones too. It was funny for the what's going to happen aspect I first watched, but I don't care for seeing people shitting and or vomiting. And, I've said I didn't really love watching those bits, even though I don't get quite squeamish. But that's what I thought. And I thought, the thing is, I felt the same on Saturday when I was looking away during a lot of the gross out bits. I guess it's nice to know other people are also here for more of the other stuff.
Fair enough.
And not just the bodily fluids. But yeah.
There's a little bit of everything for everyone.
One person said, and this is to do with the movie Poo Cocktail specifically, seeing Steve-O so deflated and resigned to his fate before they lock him in is hilarious. We rarely see him in such a state. The fact he didn't remember to keep his mouth closed and instead began screaming open mouthed so shit went in is the cherry on top. So thanks for commenting about that. Yeah, and then one person, this is very recent actually, which is interesting. I didn't know about this, but they commented, so Poo Cocktail is the skit that kept Jackass going after it nearly got cancelled. One of the first skits they filmed, Escaped Convict, caused an immediate police response. The responding officers arrested some of the crew members. The first arriving policewoman accidentally rolled her cruiser into a telephone pole. This incident led to a 10-year ban on the crew filming in West Hollywood and almost caused them to stop filming altogether. Luckily, they'd already used their budget to arrange the vehicle and supplies needed for Poo Cocktail. When they filmed Poo Cocktail and got all the genuine reactions, they realised they had something worth continuing with. I think it's mentioned somewhere at the beginning of Jackass, somewhere in the first part of Jackass, the beginning. So, thanks for sharing that, because I missed that when I was researching.
Yeah, that's cool.
But, we always miss some stuff, because it's just so expansive. And I'm sure once we see the new movie, there's probably stuff where we're going to be thinking, oh damn, I wish we knew about that beforehand. Yeah. I'm just looking at Escaped Convict very quickly. Okay, so it seems to be Johnny Knoxville in handcuffs in a prison uniform.
Yeah.
Going into a hardware shop, asking for a hacksaw.
What episode is this?
This was meant to be in the first episode, I believe. Yeah, MTV threatened to cancel Jackass when the crew showed this stunt in the pilot episode and never aired it again, not on any DVD or extra material either. So I guess it was part of the opening episode and they cut it out completely. But yeah, it looks like then the police got called. I'm showing this to Viv. So that's when the police car crashes. And for the listeners, they've got a gun on Johnny Knoxville at the minute. Yes, they're explaining that they're filming to the cops. I've never seen this before. I can't believe we missed this. Thank you so much.
They should have kept it in. That's a great bit.
Yeah. Honestly, the fact that it almost got them cancelled, they should have kept it in. Just be like, this is how far we're willing to go.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a legal reason. But yeah, thank you, Reddit user TripShift, for commenting that literally an hour ago. So while we were recording.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, generally, I'm glad we saw that. Yeah. That brings us to the end of Jackass, unless you have any final things to say. I think we're both gonna dip. I mean, we're gonna keep watching this in a different way. It's one of the ones. It feels like a while since we've seen most of one of these. Like a lot of these shows we talked about recently are ones we've either kind of seen or are seeing for the first time.
Yeah, I constantly just dip in and out of the show. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I fancy watching an episode.
Yeah, and
I was watching. Oh yeah, when I watched the beginning of season 3, fucking P Diddy shows up.
Oh yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, so that was a shock.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to carry on watching because I've got the DVDs. So I'll at least go through the volumes of the show that they've got and the bonus features and watch the lost tapes. They have got commentary on like all the movies.
That's awesome.
So I'm probably not going to watch them immediately. It's not that sort of show where I'm going to binge it. It's nice. I'm glad I've got this set that I can keep dipping into. And, in a couple of weeks' time, we'll probably mention our thoughts on the new movie as well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, if you've got any thoughts or want to send us anything, you can email us at firsttimeflyerspodcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram and TikTok, where you can see memes and get updates on the podcast at First Time Flyers Podcast. We are on YouTube at Poppin' Out Studios, where you can find our other podcast, All Hail the King, where we talk about Stephen King adaptations.
So if you like Jackass and Stephen King.
Yeah, I feel like there'd be a bit of overlap.
Sure,
I feel
why
like
not?
men, like
Men.
dudes. I'm Stephen King, and welcome to Jackass. Him and Steve-O. I'd love to watch an interview with him and Steve-O.
Steven! Love it!
Big fan of your work.
I'm a big fan of your work. I sound like RFK.
That's really funny. That's funny.
RFK and Steve-O in a conversation be like,
I'm a group of Bay for landing. Thank you for flying with us today. We hope you have a pleasant rest of your journey, and you join us next week when we depart for Aeon Flux. Aeon Flux!